Hello everyone, Philopater here, and welcome to another exciting episode of Total War Rome 2. Now I hope all of you saw the Team Dignitas Total War Rome 2 tournament on Saturday. There were a lot of excellent players and a lot of very good matches, but one thing you would have noticed is that many of the players brought infantry-heavy sword rushes. However, there was one battle between Lewin of Agartha and the Prussian Prince, in which the Prussian Prince brought a skirmish-heavy Armenia army, and it inspired me to try it out for myself. Now, mine is a little bit different. I have infantry, whereas Prussian Prince did not. He brought only skirmishers and cavalry. But anyways, let's see how this goes. So my main line is 4 Persian hoplites and 1 Kartli axeman, and then I have 4 Eastern archers as my missile component. My general is in a royal cataphract. On each flank, I have 2 Persian cavalry and 1 mercenary Cappadocian cav. And then up here on the high ground, I have 4 units of horse archers. Now my opponent has brought not the most standard infantry build, but it'll serve its purpose. His main line is composed of Celtic warriors, chosen swordsmen, and then his oath-sworn general. He has some spears in the form of spear warriors, chosen swordsmen, and levy freemen. For cavalry, he has brought 2 units of light horse and 1 heavy horse, and then his skirmish component is 1 unit of Celtic slingers. Now, he was right in not bringing a lot of skirmishers or horsemen, knowing that, of course, Armenia is going to beat him in both departments. Now, let's get right into it. I send my horse archers to scout this high ground. I didn't want to start up here and be a jerk, but I also wasn't going to cede it to him. And right away, I see this unit of Gallic hunters. This is my opponent's first mistake, was allowing these guys to be so isolated. Now, no offense to my opponent, neither of us played our best games. You're going to see a lot of mistakes from both of us, but again, this will serve the purpose of showing you how you might want to use a skirmish build against a rush build. So, Gallic hunters taken off the field immediately, no kills on them. My opponent is then going to send some of his horsemen to try and contest the hill, and of course, light horsemen going up against Persian cavalry. This is not going to end well. And the rest of his line is simply moving forward. He's walking, which on the one hand is good. You don't want your men to be tired. He knows he's going to have to chase my skirmishers down eventually. However, walking means that my archers are going to get more shots off on his Celtic warriors than they should be allowed to. Let's see. Here comes the cavalry engagement. Again, this is not going to go well for these Arverni horsemen. And it's actually my Cappadocians that are going to lead the charge, not my Persian cavalry. Of course, stupid me, I left Fire at Will on, and so my Cappadocians are going to take more HP damage than they should have. And then I'm going to continue charging straight down the hill into these heavy horse, and that's going to be 3 Gallic units routed off the field almost immediately, and, you know, my opponent is just in a bad spot at this point. However, as I said, I make plenty of mistakes myself. I'm going to leave one of these units of Persian cav in melee with one of his spearman units for far too long. It's going to end poorly. I also forget to take these 3 units of horse archers off of melee mode, and so they're going to constantly get too close to these levy freemen and constantly be showered with javelins. Which, again, horrible mistake on my part. I have my Persian cav coming in for a charge. The charge AI was a little wonky, but it'll do the job. I think. There it is. There's the charge. And they're already down 20 men. 30 men. 40 men. 50. Yeah. Now the reason skirmish builds are not particularly well used is because they require a lot of micro. You have to be constantly looking out for targets of opportunity. Say these skirmishers here. The charge, however, comes too late, and my Cappadocians get stopped by these chosen swordsmen. And they don't actually rout the slingers. This was a waste of 15 cavalry. But the main advantage of a sword-heavy rush build is its ease of use. All you have to do is point your men forward and tell them to attack, and they will attack. In the meantime, I have to keep kiting backwards, I have to bring my cavalry around, I have to use my horse archers effectively, I have to keep an eye on these cavalry in the backfield. There's a lot more micro and a lot more decision-making going on with a skirmish army as opposed to an infantry army. Now perhaps if they were to make light infantry and skirmishers run just a little bit faster, we might see the meta start to change. My opponent, again his name is Charlie Brown, tries to go after some of my eastern archers. I'm going to turn these Persian hoplites around and scare off his light horse. At which point my Persian cavalry are going to charge them, and my eastern archers are going to spray them with arrows. And so these light horse are going to be routed from the field. So beautiful. Yeah, they're going to get rear charged. They should have just kept going right into the back of the lines, but they're going to get removed. Again, 0 kills on the light horse.
As you wish.
In the meantime, he's still pushing up on the hill. It was this unit of Persian cavalry that they're able to get a really good charge off against the spear warriors. They're already up to almost 60 kills, but these spear warriors were braced, and so now they're going to stand up and begin fighting back. And my Persian cavalry is going to take a lot of loss. So stupid of me to leave them in that engagement for so long. And again, you can see all I can do is kite backwards while my archers take shots against his heavy infantry. And here's a stupid thing, they're actually targeting Celtic warriors, not the stronger chosen swordsmen. Granted, the light armor on the Celtic warriors means they're going to die very quickly, but again, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I decide this is where I'm going to make my stand. I send my Cartley axemen forward. They're going to get about 20 kills off on the charge. 19, 20, yeah, about 20 kills. And you'll notice I've put my Persian hoplites into a hoplite wall formation. This means that there's lots of open space for my archers to shoot through. Right? Now, if a smart opponent would simply cut through the gap and go after my archers that way. However, my opponent is kind enough to charge into great hoplites and try and fight them from the front. And so these chosen swordsmen, they don't have any kills, they're already down to half range. You missed it where I sent, it was right here, where again I forgot to take my horse archers off of melee mode and sent them against these chosen spearmen. Horrible idea. And as I said, these Persian cavs stayed in melee for way too long and are left with 7 men, but they're going to get a decent enough rear charge. You know, for only having 7 men, they're going to get plenty of kills. Meanwhile, on the left side, I'm still pulling back. I see a target of opportunity here, and get a decent flank charge off on the chosen swordsmen. They don't kill a lot of men on the charge, but it's going to knock over a lot of the chosen swordsmen and leave my Persian hoplites alive for that much longer. Again, I forget to skirmish these horse archers away, but my general is going to come in and save the day. Boom! Yeah, I actually used my general really well in this battle. I was able to use, let's see, nope, wrong general. I was able to use trample and his abilities very well, and keep him alive, keep him refreshed. Now, my opponent is losing the right flank up here on the hill, but he is winning the left flank over here, to a certain point. He has brought in his Oathsworn general. The general is fighting these Persian hoplites, and so any kills they get are going to be against very weak units, but my archers are already targeting his Oathsworn, and they've already brought them down to 3/4 strength. Persian cavalry get a good rear charge against the Oathsworn, and this is a rush build's worst nightmare. This is the problem with a rush build, is that if you do not get the best charges, or if you get bogged down in these stupid blobby melee engagements, your opponent's cavalry and skirmishers can have free reign of the field. Now he has no way of catching my archers. So long as I keep pulling my archers back, his infantry can't do anything, and I can continue to target his men from behind. So here we go. I've got my Eastern archers pointed back at his, in this case, chosen spearmen, who are, of course, fighting cavalry. Again, brilliant mistake on my part. His general is going up against my Cartly axemen, who performed wonderfully in this battle. And any minute now, I'm going to bring my Persian cavalry into the back of his general. Another charge from my own general, and these chosen swordsmen are going to eventually rout. My horse archers, I think they were running out of ammunition, so I actually pull them away. That way the balance bar will say, oh, you have more soldiers, you stand a better chance, and my men would actually fight better. A charge into these chosen spearmen. They were unbraced, and they're eventually going to die. Not a whole lot of kills off the charge, but they're going to fall. Again, even though my opponent has broken through on the left and in the middle, he has no way of catching my archers. And now that his men are blobbed, it's going to go badly for him. Between archer fire and this rear charge, his general is actually going to rout. Yes, general recently died, and once his general routs, his entire middle and left flank will rout, and then it's simply a matter of cleaning up these stragglers on the right flank. So, my opponent, Charlie Brown, only has a few more seconds to live. Let's watch and see how it plays out. See, I think there's another good charge coming in here for my general. There it is. So, a good game to my opponent, Charlie Brown. Again, like I said, we both made mistakes. We both could have done a lot better. But you can see here how a skirmish build can be effective against an infantry rush. And in a few seconds, we will take a look at the results screen. So, you can clearly see the units that he left out of position got no kills. He could have desperately needed them later in the battle. It's unfortunate that he let them be caught so off guard. My Cartly axemen, my general, and some of my Persian cavalry did fantastic, as did my horse archers and my Cappadocian cavalry. My Persian hoplites, actually some of them did fairly well, but they did their job. They were able to simply stem the tide of the infantry advance long enough for my Eastern archers to rack up the kills. And in the end, he was simply not able to bring his infantry to bear as quickly as he needed to. So I hope this in some way maybe inspires you to try out the skirmish build for yourself. If it does, I would love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.